last night sends a man to the hospital. What police are trying to determine and more on the victim's condition. Plus, get rid of game rooms or else. What we're learning about the ban Beaumont City Council approved yesterday and how one attorney plans to fight back. And Bridge City ISD is just one Southeast Texas school district heading back to class today. We're live talking about a big project at the high school this year. 12 News Daybreak starts now. Good morning, Southeast Texas. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for waking up with Daybreak on 12 News Plus. I'm Tia Johnson. Mark has the morning off. Your time now 7:01. So let's go ahead and get a first look at your weather with meteorologist Jeff Gerber. Taking a live look at Beaumont right now. You can see the sun is shining. That is good news for us. Let's check in with meteorologist Jeff Gerber. It's the streaming show, so we can get a little lit with the forecast, Jeff.
A little what?
A little lit.
A little lit? Okay. Well, I tell you, the radar is lit down towards mid-county as we see some showers coming in off the Gulf of Mexico. Not too much in the way of any thunderstorms here or severe weather or anything like that. It's just some heavy downpours coming in off the Gulf. We'll take a little bit closer look here. If you're leaving Winnie and you're traveling over to Port Arthur, give yourself some extra time. There's some pretty heavy downpours here. Same deal if you're heading from, say, Port Arthur over to Winnie on 73. You're going to be running into some rain pretty much the whole trip. These things are working their way northward, but there's some embedded rain in there down towards the Bean Pass, some rain as well. And I imagine they're going to make their way up towards mid-county here over the next probably half an hour or so. As we look at our temperatures today, we'll be back up into the lower 90s. We'll put in a 20% chance of a few showers with thunderstorms as we head towards later on this afternoon. I guess I should put in a few showers maybe towards 9 o'clock, but I think most of those should be dying down before 9 o'clock, and then we'll see maybe a few more develop as we go towards the afternoon.
Thanks, Jeff. Developing in Beaumont. Police are trying to figure out what led to a shooting in the Avenues last night. It happened around 8:45 near Avenue H and Blanchett. District Chief Scott Wheat from Beaumont Fire and Rescue tells us a man was rushed to the hospital with serious injuries. He's in stable condition this morning. Of course, we'll keep you updated when we get new details. The man accused of killing Kimberly Langwell in 1999 has rejected a plea deal. Instead, Terry Rose decided yesterday to take his chances at trial. Investigators say he killed Langwell, who was his ex-girlfriend, and buried her under his property 25 years ago. Langwell's remains were discovered in June of last year after police received a tip. Rose was offered a plea deal for 40 years in prison. He rejected it and now faces 5 to life in prison. It's game over for game rooms in Beaumont. City Council voted unanimously to approve a new ordinance yesterday banning game rooms and gaming machines within city limits. An attorney representing dozens of stores tells us many businesses will now have to close their doors. But after 10 years of discussion, City Council members have made their decision, saying owners will have 90 days to comply or face consequences. 12 News reporter Spencer Plato has more.
Some of these convenience stores will close.
Beaumont game rooms and game machines in convenience stores within the city limits will soon be a thing of the past.
All those in favor of approving item number 19, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Tuesday, the City Council voted unanimously to approve the new ordinance. Scott Rennick represents 66 stores with gaming machines. He says this decision will hurt the businesses and the city.
What it is going to do is cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars in tax revenue. The city is not given a reason why they're doing this.
Rennick says the businesses worked hard to comply to previous ordinances by installing security cameras.
Each one of these businesses spent about $20,000 to $40,000 to comply with that amendment. And now 20 months later, all of these businesses that invested the city of Beaumont, the city has just arbitrarily decided to basically rip this ordinance away from these businesses.
Mayor Roy West says revenue never came directly to the city.
That was to pay for the enforcement, to make sure that they were following the various from the cameras to being an open area, from the hours of operation. And so it wasn't a revenue generator for us.
Mayor West says the machines have raised serious safety concerns.
That since casino gambling is not legal, many people believe that it is just some form of casino gambling.
Rennick tells 12 News he's evaluating all available legal and strategic options.
To these businesses that invested in the city, all I can tell City Council is I'll see you in court.
Mayor West says the ban will go into effect in 90 days. Stores must stop operations or face possible misdemeanor charges or fines. Also in Beaumont, the city is moving forward with plans for a downtown convention center and hotel. City Council approved a new 2% hotel tax yesterday to help fund the facility. It would be added on to what people pay when they stay at hotels and motels in the city. The funds would be set aside for what's being called the Downtown Venue Project. The council submitted a resolution to the state controller for analysis. That's required before the issue can be put on the ballot for voters. Some Southeast Texas kids are already heading back to school this week. Today, Bridge City, Lumberton, Holdesetta, and West Hardin districts started class. We hope all you kids, parents, and staff have a great first day. And this morning, we're heading out to Bridge City to see what they're expecting and looking forward to this school year. 12 News reporter Daniela Tabarapalao live out at the high school. We see some movement back there in the background. Daniela, I'm assuming school has already started.
Yeah, Tia, so students are currently coming in. The school hasn't started yet, but they're already coming in. They're excited. And I'm actually here with Superintendent Dr. Mike Kelly, who's going to basically, what are we excited about this new school year?
You know, we're just excited to be back, excited to welcome 3,000 students, excited to see how many are going to be here today. That's always something that that administrators and all of us are interested in is how many students are we going to be educating this year, and the more the better, you know. So we're happy to welcome everybody back. One of the things that we're going to really focus on this year is taking to heart that the BC doesn't just mean Bridge City. It means best in class. And so everything that we do, we are going to aim for to be the best in class. From our resources, from the support we give our students, the opportunities our students have, we feel like we are the best place to be. We feel like we provide the best education that students can get in this area, and we're very excited to be able to do that every single day.
Of course, and talking about best in class, we were just walking around the new CTE Center. Can you explain exactly what this improvement to the high school and to the district really means?
That center offers so many more opportunities for our kids. That's the main piece, is how many more opportunities they have. But secondly, the number of students that can take those programs now. That facility increases all of the capacities in our programs, so we get more and more kids in all of our CTE programs. The other thing that did was open up some space in this high school. That was a very important piece of that building, was opening up about 10 classrooms in our current high schools for some future growth. We had no growth, or no room to grow. We were busting at the seams, and so that building not only has provided more students, more opportunities, but it has also lightened the load of this high school just a little bit and gotten all of our CTE programs out in that new building.
Of course. Well, I'm going to take it back to Tia, but when we come back, we're going to be talking about another improvement, the Performing Arts Center. So back to you, Tia.
Lots of big things happening there in Bridge City. Daniela, thank you so much for that report. We'll check back in with you in a bit. And we also have a couple of districts heading back to class tomorrow. That's Anahuac and Evadale ISD. And this Friday, the Catholic Diocese of Beaumont schools will also start. We hope you all have a great first day as well. And over in Needleland, this district is helping families get ready for the new school year with a back-to-school fair today. It runs from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Needleland High School cafeteria. Families can get help with school supplies, clothes, bus info, meals, health services, and even free haircuts. It's open to all Needleland ISD students and parents, and all services are free.
409 Sports, brought to you by Golden Triangle Emergency Center, Orange.
High school football preseason is heating up, and in Anahuac, the Panthers are on the prowl for a playoff return. We caught up with Coach Greg Neese and his team as they gear up for the new season.
The high school football preseason rolled on yesterday. We took a trip out to Anahuac to check on Greg Neese and the Panthers. The Panthers went 6-4 last season and 3-3 in district play, which left them on the outside looking into the postseason. Coach Neese says none of that matters for this year.
What happened last year, or even the years we did make the playoffs, it really has no impact. You know, it's kind of neat for the fans to look at and kind of wonder how good Anahuac's going to be this year. But you know, we're not concerned with that. We're trying to get better every day. Of course, that's our goal, is to get in the playoffs. But anyway, we're excited about it. I know our kids are, and you know, we're hungry to get started.
Panthers will rely on some senior leadership to push for another playoff run. And Coach already has a couple guys in mind.
You can't have a good offseason and a great summer without great senior leadership. So we have some really good guys. Cole Willis is one. I have to talk about him first. He's a big lineman. He might be one of the best linemen in the district, if not the best. He's going to start on offense, start on defense, and he's a heck of a football player. So he's kind of been one of our leaders. And then you got Oscar Garza, who started for us on offense and defense, and he's our kicker and does some returning and stuff like that. He's an electric type player.
The Panthers will open their season on the road against the Hitchcock Bulldogs on August 29th, but they'll have an open scrimmage this Saturday at 8 a.m. if you want to check them out.
All right, and the Panthers kick off their season August 29th on the road against Hitchcock, but you can get an early look at them this Saturday at that open scrimmage. Still ahead, a tech company giving consumers the inside scoop before they buy, how this could change your shopping experience. Plus a massive emergency response in California after a woman gets stuck in a chimney. Your trending news next. It's 7-11.
We begin with breaking news in Port Neches.
Firefighters continue attacking the flames from the air.
We're working to learn more about a police chase.
We'll give you a live look at the scene tonight. Our crew there.
A chase in Port Neches turned into a standoff.
So we're working to get you more information.
We're going to keep you updated on air and online as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
I wouldn't say that I was like a partier, but I would say that I was a social butterfly. So we would just always drink. That night, I went through a red light and I T-boned another vehicle. And I just remember thinking like, oh no. Right after the DWI, I lost my license and I did 30 days in jail. I could have killed him because I decided to be reckless. I have a ton of regrets. I'm Katie. 5 years ago, I got a DWI and I'm still paying for it every day.
As tropical activity picks up in the Gulf, 12 News is your hurricane headquarters. Get prepared before a storm hits. Watch the 12 News Hurricane Special, streaming on 12 News Plus. From the must-haves in your supply kit to the evacuation routes you'll need to take, plus safety tips and how you can protect yourself from storm scammers. The 12 News Hurricane Special, keeping you prepared. Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, don't mess with Texas, means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions, for all us Texans, don't mess with Texas means don't litter.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn here with one of the most important hurricane tips, having an evacuation plan. First, gather food, water, and medicine before storing it in an emergency kit. Plan well in advance where you're going, how you'll get there, and if you'll need to transport any pets, small children, or the elderly. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
Welcome back, 7:14 on this Wednesday morning. We'll take you down to Finette at Gator Country. You can see some little noses of the gators sticking out right off the walkway there in Finette. A few showers working their way up towards, looks like Gator Country for this morning. I'll show you radar here in just a second, but this is part of our Roofing 911 Live SkyCam network. Temperature-wise, we're in the 70s, 72 in Beaumont, then 77 in Port Arthur, 74 in Orange. Also, Silsbee and Woodville's at 74. A little bit cooler, Kirbyville 73. Jasper currently showing about 70. Have a stationary front. This was around yesterday, and it's still sticking around the southeastern U.S., the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America for today. We still have some showers that have been working their way off the Gulf and into southeast Texas here for this morning. Most of the area is dry, so you don't have to worry about dealing with any rain as you head off towards work this morning. It's really just kind of southern parts of Jefferson County right now that are dealing with some of these heavy downpours. You can see some of that heavy rain is moving into Port Arthur right now towards Taylor Landing. Did not reach Winnie. Winnie is dry, should be continuing to be dry, but if you're leaving Winnie, maybe driving to Port Arthur for work, you're going to need a few extra minutes. There's some pretty heavy rain here. Same deal if you're going from Port Arthur, maybe over towards I-10, over towards Winnie or whatever, taking 73. You're going to be dealing with some pretty heavy rain. Sabine Pass getting some rain. Most of this stuff's going to drift up over towards southwest Louisiana. Maybe a couple of these showers, if they hold together, could make it all the way up, maybe even towards Bridge City. We'll have to wait and see for this morning. But right now, most of the heavy rain, like I said, has been coming in off the Gulf and working its way into the south half of Jefferson County right now. As they come on shore, they're dying down just a little bit, but maybe a few of them could make their way up all the way to mid-county. As we look at our numbers for today, we'll be up into the lower 90s, and we got about a 20% chance of a couple of showers here and there popping up through the afternoon. We'll be in the 80s this evening. Looks dry for most of the evening, and then 70s overnight into tomorrow morning. All right, let's run down your tropics real quick here. 40% chance of this development off the East Coast. That should stay out in the Atlantic. Of course, Dexter stays out in the Atlantic, and this storm off the coast of Africa, about a 50% chance of development, once again, staying out in the Atlantic. None of those will be affecting the Gulf. So partly cloudy, 20% chance of rain today with temperatures in the 90s. Tonight, no rain, mostly clear. We'll be back into the middle to lower 70s. And then as we look at our 7-day forecast, we don't see a whole lot of change here every day. Highs in the lower 90s, lows in the middle 70s. And 20-30% coverage of a few showers or thunderstorms, mainly during the afternoons.
You know what the good news is?
What's that?
Even though you see, the coverage, the sun has still been shining.
Oh yeah, well, that 20-30%, it's not an all-day deal. It's just a section of the day where we typically get some rain. This morning's a little different. We get a little bit of rain off the Gulf, but that shouldn't stick around all morning. And then we might see a few more during the afternoon. So yeah, you do see some sunshine, but a little bit of rain here and there too.
What's your good news?
My good news is just I'm alive and I'm well. Here I am. I'm
Amen.
good to work with you. What's any better news than that?
I'm happy you know I'm such a blessing in your life,
yes.
Jeff. All right, just a reminder, you can download our app at any time to get the latest on the weather. Check the radar by going to the radar tab in the app.
Money Matters, sponsored by Gulf Credit Union.
A tech company is giving consumers the inside scoop before making a purchase. Google is adding a new feature to its Chrome web browser that will now show AI-generated reviews for online stores. Google says to access the new tool, users must click an icon to the left of the web address in the browser. Once clicked, a pop-up appears providing consumers information about the store, including product quality, pricing, customer service, and return policy. The feature is only available for U.S. shoppers and on the desktop browser. While most of us relax a bit more in the summertime, scammers, they never take a break. ABC's Olivia Rubin explains how you can avoid summer scams.
Summer is known for backyard barbecues, beach vacations, and summer jobs for college students. But for scammers, it's also an opportunity to exploit consumers. Sean Piles, the host of NerdWallet's Smart Money podcast, says victims may be more vulnerable this time of year.
If we're out of our routines, we're traveling, we might be in new places, we may not be checking our credit card statements as frequently, and that might let fraud slip through.
Piles says job scams are common right now. If you think that job listing sounds a bit too good to be true, it probably is.
Be wary of any job that asks you to put up money in order to work there or promises payment in cryptocurrency. Those are two big red flags. Another red flag is a job that pays a really high rate for minimal work, or a job that asks you to provide personal information like your social security number just to apply for the job.
Texts, emails, or phone calls claiming fraudulent activity on your accounts can be a phishing scam too. And be skeptical of a request for natural disaster relief. Fraudsters sometimes pose as legitimate organizations to steal your money and personal data. And with AI advancements, they're only getting more sophisticated.
You go to a website that you saw from an ad on social media, it looks legitimate, you go to buy these tickets, turns out it wasn't an actual website, it was a duplicate website made by AI.
Pyle says to always go directly to the company or government agency's website for verification. And trust your gut. If someone doesn't seem trustworthy, they probably aren't. You can also freeze your credit to stop scammers from opening new accounts in your name. Pyle adds that fraudsters often want to create a sense of urgency with claims of pending legal actions or threats. So take a moment and evaluate whether the message is credible before sending money or personal information.
All right, time for some trending news. If you think you've had a bad day, count your blessings. There was a massive emergency response last night at a recreation park in San Fernando, California, and guess what? A woman got stuck in a chimney. It was all caught on video from the air. Take a look at your screen. You don't want to miss this. The LA Fire Department's urban search and rescue team had to use a ladder to reach her, then use a harness to lift her up and out. Why was she in there? Officials say she somehow made her way to the roof of the storage building and started acting erratically. She then made her way to the chimney and got into it. Despite the chaos, authorities say she was in good spirits while on her way to the hospital. So happy she's okay. If you miss the old McDonald's Happy Meals from when you were a kid, prepare to take a trip back in time. The chain is launching its new adult Happy Meal with its old McDonald land vibes. The new meal will revisit the realm for the first in more than 20 years. It comes with a quarter pounder with cheese or a 10-piece chicken McNuggets, French fries, and a collectible souvenir, as well as a limited edition Mount McDonald Land Shake. These characters were introduced in 1971 and phased out in the early 2000s. You can get one on August 12th. I prefer the 10-piece chicken nuggets instead of the burger. All right, speaking of burger, is ketchup a smoothie? Heinz and Smoothie King say yes, and they've blended up the proof. The Heinz tomato ketchup smoothie is a bold mix of strawberries, raspberries, apple juice, and actual ketchup. It's tangy, fruity, and surprisingly not gross. Well, testers say the berries hit first, then the ketchup adds a sweet, savory twist. It drops today at select Smoothie King locations nationwide for less than $6. The brand says it's daring fans to try it and post their reactions. I've got to get me and Jeff one, see what we like. All right, we're taking a look outside at Orange right now. Your time is 7:22. Meteorologist Jeff Gerber will be back with another look at your forecast.
This is a tornado on the ground.
And the roads are slippery.
We have a tropical storm warning.
Look at this water.
Street flooding in Beaumont.
It is going to get extremely cold.
The metal building blew away from a business. Staying safe behind the wheel is imperative.
Find a safe spot, move to an interior room.
Just make sure you're staying safe.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
The STEM fields are providing opportunity to be part of the developments that will shape the future, and the Army National Guard is at the forefront of the movement. Soldiers can serve part-time and choose from dozens of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics jobs, working with cutting-edge technology and innovations. And the skills and experience they receive can open doors for them to civilian careers in the STEM world. Join a team that is taking the lead in STEM by talking to a local recruiter or by going to nationalguard.com/careers.
409 Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses.
It's the heart that makes up the game, the triumph of the human spirit.
It's agony and victory, diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify a community.
We give you the stats, but then we inspire you with the stories. The unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable.
We bring it to you all because sports lives in the 409.
No matter where we start, every mile brings us closer. And as Texans, we take care of each other along the way. we lend a hand, slow down, and take our time. At the end of the day, we all want to get home safe. Drive like a Texan. Kind, courteous, and safe.
I'm meteorologist Kerry Cooper here with another hurricane tip. Stay connected. Sign up for free emergency alerts from your local county and plan on to monitor the latest local weather and news at 12newsnow.com. Being aware of any new information will be invaluable. And finally, know the types of alerts you may receive. A watch means be prepared, while a warning means act. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
Welcome back. LIT hosted a giant enrollment festival for students yesterday. The school is trying to simplify the enrollment process for new and returning students. They offered financial aid and registration assistance along with campus tours. If you missed out, hop onto lit.edu to get connected with admissions staff. The semester starts August 26th.
Most areas quiet this morning. Temperatures in the 70s. We're seeing some sunshine, but there are some areas with some rain for this morning. Port Arthur getting some pretty heavy rain right now, right overhead. And then as you head out towards Taylor Landing, even a few showers heading up. Looks like close to the Jack Brooks Regional Airport up towards Nederland. These will probably drift up in towards Groves, Port Neches, and they're falling apart. They're actually getting smaller in size, but there's still a pretty good little punch here as far as some heavy downpour, especially towards the Port Arthur area. As this kind of drifts towards the north, we have more out towards, say, central parts of Jefferson County. So this is the only rain around for this morning, but if you live in, say, Mid-County, make sure you have that umbrella before you head out the door.
Coming up on Daybreak on 12 News Plus, plea deal rejected. The Beaumont man accused of killing Kimberly Langwell decades ago has decided to take his chances at trial. The offer, Terry Rose, refused. Plus, get rid of game rooms or else, what we're learning about the ban Beaumont City Council approved yesterday and how one attorney plans to fight back. And 12 News reporter Daniela Tabuada Palau is speaking with the Bridge City ISD superintendent on the first day back to school. It's 7:26 and I think there we go. That's a live look at downtown Beaumont. We'll be back with more news and weather in just a few minutes. Grab that umbrella as you head out the door this morning. Good morning, Southeast Texas. Thanks for joining us here on Daybreak on 12 News Plus. I'm Tia Johnson. Mark has the morning off, and it is now 7:30 on your Wednesday morning. Time to look at your top stories this morning. A Louisiana man is in jail following a high-speed chase. It started in Lumberton around 3 a.m. yesterday. Police say Julius Nix threw jugs out of his car before leading officers into Buna and eventually onto Kirbyville. The chase reached speeds of 100 miles an hour. Nix eventually slammed into a semi on FM 363. He then tried to run into the woods while tossing out ecstasy pills and suspected cocaine. He's in the Hardin County Jail this morning. A judge has sentenced a man to 35 years in prison for attacking his girlfriend. Marcus Austin pled guilty to family violence aggravated assault. He admitted to hitting his girlfriend repeatedly with a liquor bottle. She had serious injuries, including a fractured skull and a broken femur. Prosecutors called it one of the worst family violence attacks they've seen. A report about an armed man near campus led to an alert yesterday for Lamar University and LIT. Around 10 a.m., police told everyone to stay inside while they looked for the man near Cochran and Georgia Street. Police sounded the all clear around an hour later. Let's take a live look outside now from our Roofing 911 Skycam network. Looking at the skies of Jasper right now, meteorologist Jeff Gerber is standing by with your forecast.
Yeah, it's blue skies up in Jasper, but as you head down a little bit closer to the triangle here, we're having some pretty heavy rain. Port Arthur area right now, not getting severe weather. This is not severe weather, but it is heavy downpours around Port Arthur. Looks like we got another heavy shower working its way up towards the airport, towards Nederland, and then back down towards Taylor Landing, and not quite to Winnie. So if you're leaving Beaumont heading down to Winnie, you're not going to be running into any rain. Maybe a few of these showers, if they can hold together, might make it up to I-10, but right now not looking at too much there. And these are starting to fall apart, at least this area here over towards the west. This stuff over Sabine Lake moving into parts of Cameron Parish still have some pretty heavy rain that direction. So if you may be heading from Port Arthur over towards Louisiana, down 87 there, you might be running into quite a bit of rain as well. So this is the only rain we have out there. We're expecting highs today into the 90s. A small chance of rain this afternoon. We'll have more in your forecast coming up in weather in just a little bit.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Developing in Beaumont. Police are trying to figure out what led to a shooting in the Avenues last night. It happened around 8:45 near Avenue H and Blanchett. District Chief Scott Wheat from Beaumont Fire and Rescue tells us a man was rushed to the hospital with serious injuries. He's in stable condition this morning. We'll keep you updated on air and online as new details come in. The man accused of killing Kimberly Langwell in 1999 has rejected a plea deal. Instead, Terry Rose decided yesterday to take his chances at trial. Investigators say he killed Langwell, who was his ex-girlfriend, and buried her under his property 25 years ago. Langwell's remains were discovered in June of last year after police received a tip. Rose was offered a plea deal for 40 years in prison. He rejected it and now faces 5 to life in prison. Game rooms are now officially banned in Beaumont. City Council members voted a second time yesterday to pass the ordinance. All game room operators will have to cease operations within 90 days or face possible misdemeanor charges or fines. An attorney who represents 66 local stores with gaming machines says this decision will hurt the businesses and the city. He says these owners worked hard to comply with previous ordinances by installing security cameras.
Each one of these businesses spent about $20,000 to $40,000 to comply with that amendment. And now 20 months later, all of these businesses that invested the city of Beaumont, the city has just arbitrarily decided to basically rip this ordinance away from these businesses.
Meanwhile, Mayor Roy West says revenue never came directly to the city and the machines have raised serious safety concerns. He says the ban will go into effect in 90 days. Some Southeast Texas kids are already heading back to school this week. Today, Bridge City, Lumberton, Holdesetta, and West Hardin districts classes start. We hope all you kids, parents, and staff have a great first day. And this morning, we're heading out to Bridge City to see what they're expecting and looking forward to this school year. 12 News reporter Daniela Tabuada-Palau is live out at the high school this morning, speaking with Superintendent Dr. Mike Kelly. Daniela.
Hi, Tia. So we're still here at Bridge City High School, and as you can see, the school seems a little empty, but it's because they're in their classroom. And so today we're going to be speaking to Superintendent Dr. Mike Kelly, and we were speaking about the CTE building, and you also have a performing arts building coming in soon. Can you talk to us about that?
Absolutely. So we are aiming to break ground on that facility in February, maybe early March. And so that Performing Arts Center will be the daily home of our theater, of band, of our dance. It'll be an opportunity for all of our fine arts programs, our choir and you know, our art students, just a place that they can show off their craft, show off their skills, and have a professional place to do it. You know, for years we've had band concerts in our gyms and things like this, and we've got phenomenal programs that really deserve that space to elevate and take their programs to the next level, and that's what the Performing Arts Center is going to allow those programs to do.
Of course, and we were speaking a few minutes ago about the Performing Arts Center and how this was also a good thing for the students because it kind of improves, maybe helps them a little more. Can you go more into just like what's this really mean for students?
You know, our goal is to have the most well-rounded students that we can possibly have, and research has shown over and over again that students that are involved in fine arts perform better academically. You know, it gives them opportunities to speak in front of people and get some real-world experience and activities, and so you know, the more that our students can be involved in, from fine arts to all of our extracurriculars to academic UIL to the classrooms, that's what we want. We want students to leave here well-rounded and ready for the careers, ready for college or university, wherever they want to go. We want them ready when they leave Bridge City ISD.
Of course. And then talking about that, what are kind of some advice that you might have for students before we wrap up real quick?
You know, part of our school song is to be a part of all that's offered, and that is something that I would tell all students, is we have so many good programs and so much to be a part of. You only get to do this one time, and so be a part of everything that you can. Contribute to the school culture and the community that we're trying to build. You know, just that will help students be more well-rounded again, like I was talking about. And so just take advantage of what we have to offer. We have a fantastic school system with many, many opportunities. And my advice would just be to grab a hold of any and every of those opportunities that they could, be a part of them and give them everything they have. And they've got one shot to do it. So like I said, give it their best shot.
Of course. Thank you so much, Mr. Superintendent. Well, that's all we have for today. We'll send it back to you, Tia.
Hey, Daniela, doesn't it kind of take you down memory lane to be back in high school on the first day of school? All right, thanks so much. We also have a couple of districts heading back to class tomorrow. That's Anahuac and Evadale ISD. And this Friday, the Catholic Diocese of Beaumont schools will also start school. We hope you all have a great first day as well. As educators across Southeast Texas prepare for the first day, Hampshire-Fannett ISD is finalizing security plans for the new year. Staff members are training to serve as school marshals, meaning employees would be certified to conceal carry on campus. The district is opting to protect their schools through the Marshal and Guardian programs to comply with House Bill 3. Superintendent Dr. Dwayne Augustine considers the Guardian program the first step to becoming a marshal.
School Marshal academies aren't offered continuously, so those are only offered at certain times of the year. You have the ability to train guardians, have them in place, and then transition them to be school marshals.
The district has also implemented safety features like fencing around campuses and restricted badge access to campus doors. This month, 12 News is teaming up with Southeast Texas organizations to clear the shelters. This nationwide pet adoption and donation campaign is helping animals find the loving homes they deserve. So far, 27 pets have been adopted from the Humane Society of Southeast Texas, Beaumont Animal Care, and Beaumont Pets Alive. If you're in the market to adopt, meet Penguin. He has a cute name and an even cuter face. Penguin is 1 year old, and he's available today at Beaumont Animal Care. And don't forget, with this campaign happening all month long, we're counting down to our big Clear the Shelters event on August 23rd. There will be discounted adoptions, food, fun, photos, and more from 9 to 5. You can also meet some of our 12 News team from 11 to 2. We'll see you then. Up next, we're exactly 6 months out from the 2026 Winter Olympics. Details on this year's games. Plus, the latest move from Governor Abbott after Texas Democrats left the state on a quorum break. It is now 7:40.
When industry news breaks, we're on the front lines, digging into the issue.
Lamar is working to protect Power City from hackers,
Filtering out rumors and giving you the facts, direct from inside sources.
ExxonMobil and lawyers for the United Steelworkers.
Taking on the story from all sides.
The company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection last year.
Southeast Texas is a power city, and we're bringing the power to you. 12 News, putting Southeast Texas first.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, "Don't mess with Texas," means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions, for all us Texans, "Don't mess with Texas" means don't litter.
It's hard to really come to terms with dementia. There are little things that you can't even begin to plan for that happen that you need the early diagnosis for. My mom has done so much for me. There's no way that I wouldn't do the same for her. It's so important to have the conversation with your doctor earlier because you just do not know what the future holds.
We begin with breaking news in Port Neches.
Firefighters continue attacking the flames from the air.
We're working to learn more about a police chase.
We'll give you a live look at the scene tonight. Our crew there.
A chase in Port Neches turned into a standoff.
So we're working to get you more information.
We're going to keep you updated on air and online as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
I'm meteorologist Kerry Cooper here with another hurricane tip, evacuating correctly. If local authorities advise you to evacuate, do so immediately and without delay. Bring your emergency kit and be sure to follow evacuation routes. Do not try to take shortcuts because they may be blocked. Also remember to eat and get enough sleep for you to deal with whatever stress that may come your way. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
Welcome back. 7:43 right now. We had some clear skies earlier. Now look at these clouds coming in. That's from some of the rain we had that was out into the Gulf, and now it's moved onshore. It's starting to die down, but still brought in quite a few clouds for this morning. This is our camera right here at our 12 News studio, part of the Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. This camera brought to you by Mid-County Plumbing. As we look off towards the east, you can see downtown Beaumont there off towards your left, but definitely looking at some clouds. I'll show you radar in just a second. Let's take a quick look at temperatures. And once again this morning, kind of like we've been seeing for the last, seems like a couple of months, we're in the middle of the lower 70s once again. 72 Jasper, 72 Kirbyville, then Woodville and Silsbee's at 74, 76 Orange, Port Arthur's at 76, and 75 in Beaumont. Now, most of the state, matter of fact, probably about 98% of it is quiet this morning, not much going on, but coastal Texas is seeing a few showers come in off the Gulf, and you can see we're getting some of those heavy downpours right across the eastern sections of Jefferson County for this morning. A couple of showers also trying to work now through High Island, maybe coming into the southwestern corner of Jefferson County. But let's look at these over towards Sabine Lake. Some pretty heavy rainfall here, stretching back into Port Arthur. I've seen some little bit of rain in Nederland and Groves this morning. Maybe a few of these showers trying to head up towards Bridge City there. And then pretty quiet now back towards Taylor Landing, but we had some pretty heavy downpours there earlier. So if you're traveling from Winnie, maybe on 73 over to Port Arthur, I think you'll be okay until you get right into Port Arthur, and you might run into the tail end of some of this rain. Most of this is shrinking down, so I don't think we're going to see the rain for too much longer, at least here in Jefferson County. Cameron Parish could continue to see some rain, it looks like, for this morning. That's kind of where the bulk of this rain, it looks like it's heading over towards southwest Louisiana. But I'm watching this next little band here come through Chambers County, right up the Bolivar Peninsula, and maybe some of that could make it a little bit farther north. We'll have to wait and see. It might make it as far north as Winnie. As we look at our futurecast for today, temperatures starting in the 70s, but we'll go through the 80s and then eventually the lower 90s for this afternoon. Can't rule out a few more showers later on today, a little bit farther inland, about 20% there. And then this evening, things should quiet down. We'll see temperatures in the 80s, eventually 70s going into tomorrow morning. A lot of middle to lower 70s to start off on your Thursday. For today, though, partly cloudy. We'll go 20% coverage of some rain. Bulk of that's going to be this afternoon, with the exception of what we're seeing this morning, and some lower to middle 90s for tonight. Middle to lower 70s, mostly clear, light winds as we head towards your Thursday. Look for highs once again around 93 with about a 30% chance of a few showers. Matter of fact, 20-30% is the typical norm for this time of year. This is really just a typical forecast for this time of year, with highs in the lower to middle 90s and that 20-30% chance of a couple of afternoon showers or thunderstorms.
You know, like they say, knock on wood. I was going to say we haven't reached higher than like 94, 95, though. I wanted to knock on wood before.
Yeah, well, here, let me do it.
I got a strong hand. All right. Okay. Bye, Jeff.
Bye.
Just a reminder, you can download our app at any time. To get the latest on the weather, check the radar by going to the radar tab in the app. Happening today, the Port Arthur Health Department is offering free medical screenings and more this morning. This includes blood pressure checks, stroke and diabetes tips, and 101 health education. It's from 8:30 to 11:30 a.m., and there will be a drawing for a $25 HEB gift card. For the first time in nearly a year, Beaumont firefighters have a new contract. The City Council has officially ratified a new 3-year collective bargaining agreement with the firefighters union. It includes significant wage increases for firefighters and EMTs. They'll receive an immediate 7% raise, then a 4% raise this October, and another 3% raise in October of 2026. The new contract includes higher pay for those with education and certifications, as well as special operations and more. For example, crews who respond to a hazmat situation outside city limits will receive double time pay. Union President Jeffrey Neeson says the next obstacle the department faces is staffing.
We've been faced with a severe staffing crisis over the last few years. And like I said, as a package deal, I think that it's really important for us to look at the way we hire, the benefits and the pay that our members receive, all of that tied together. That's how you get employees to work in Beaumont and to stay in Beaumont.
The agreement also includes a provision for the fire chief to appoint a second assistant chief. No word yet on who that will be. The stakes are getting even higher in the showdown over redistricting, and now we're hearing from State Representative Christian Manuel for the first time since Democrats broke quorum. He's one of the lawmakers who left the state.
We are not leaving to go on a vacation. We're leaving because what's being done is wrong, whether you are a Democrat or a Republican or an independent. There is no way that any of us should ever be okay for this level of redistricting, because if it can happen to a group of people that you don't like, it will happen to you one day.
Representative Manuel spoke to 12 News on Zoom from Chicago. He says they're having meetings with congressional partners to explore possible solutions. Meanwhile, Attorney General Ken Paxton is threatening to have the Democrats' seats declared vacant if they don't come back by Friday. And State Rep Gene Wu says he's not backing down in this fight or from Governor Abbott. The governor called for Wu to be removed from office for leading the charge in this quorum break. He and dozens of other Democrats have been out of state since Sunday to keep the House from voting on the new map. KVU's Daniel Peralt has more.
In a significant escalation on Tuesday evening, Governor Greg Abbott's office filed an emergency petition with the Texas Supreme Court asking the justices to remove State Representative Gene Wu, the chair of the House Democratic Caucus, from office, saying that he forfeited his elected office by leading and participating in the quorum break. In his petition, Governor Abbott says if representatives are free not to show up whenever they choose, then Texans simply don't have a representative government. The governor says the court has the ability to decide if just 1/3 of the legislature can dictate the outcome for 100% of Texans. So as the governor seeks Wu's removal, absent members also face a $500 fine from their personal fund for every day they're gone. Congressional Democrats and other donors have been fundraising to cover the cost of breaking quorum. The lawsuit argues that Wu and other absent Democrats have broken bribery laws by soliciting donations. Essentially, the governor says they're getting benefits in exchange for skipping votes. I spoke with a political lawyer, Andrew Cates, about how feasible it is to remove members from office for breaking quorum for 2 days.
Even the felony bribery, arguably is not by law forfeiture of the office. So I don't know how they would do it. I don't think the quo warranto suits would even stand in the first place.
The House will try to reestablish a quorum on Friday. The governor is asking the Texas Supreme Court to weigh in on his petition by 5 p.m. on Thursday. The contingent of House Democrats who've left the state say they have no intention of returning and plan to stay out of state for the next 2 weeks until this current special session ends. At the Texas Capitol, Daniel Perot, KVUE News.
Representative Wu responded to Governor Abbott's legal threats last night, saying the oath he took was to the Constitution. He wrote in part, "This office does not belong to Greg Abbott, and it does not belong to me. It belongs to the people of House District 137 who elected me." Today officially marks 6 months until the beginning of the 2026 Winter Olympics. The Games will be held in Italy in a joint bid between Milan and Cortina. Italy previously hosted the Winter Games in 2006 in Turin and in 1956 in Cortina. But 2026 will be the first Olympics to officially be hosted by 2 cities. The Games will run from February 6th to the 22nd. You can watch them right here on 12 News and get all the biggest news from our Olympic Zone show that airs during the Olympics. When 12 News Daybreak returns on 12 News Plus, we'll have more news and weather in your morning rush hour. Your time now, 7:52.
As tropical activity picks up in the Gulf, 12 News is your hurricane headquarters. Get prepared before a storm hits. Watch the 12 News Hurricane Special, streaming on 12 News Plus. From the must-haves in your supply kit to the evacuation routes you'll need to take, plus safety tips and how you can protect yourself from storm scammers. The 12 News Hurricane Special, keeping you prepared. Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
No matter where we start, every mile brings us closer. And as Texans, we take care of each other along the way. We lend a hand, slow down, and take our time. At the end of the day, we all want to get home safe. Drive like a Texan. Kind, courteous, and safe.
The impact killed my dad and brother instantly. A man, after drinking excessively with his coworkers, ran a stop sign, T-boned my parents' Honda, and destroyed our family. He could have just said, "Hey, I'm not okay." There's Lyft, there's Uber, there's taxis, there's so many other options. Every day, someone else can be taken away.
The STEM fields are providing opportunity to be part of the developments that will shape the future, and the Army National Guard is at the forefront of the movement. Soldiers can serve part-time and choose from dozens of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics jobs, working with cutting-edge technology and innovations. And the skills and experience they receive can open doors for them to civilian careers in the STEM world. Join a team that is taking the lead in STEM by talking to a local recruiter or by going to nationalguard.com/careers.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn, here with some hurricane tips for protecting yourself against flooding. Take shelter in a designated storm shelter or an interior room and stay away from glass windows or doors. And if flooding begins, move to higher ground immediately. Never walk, swim, or drive through floodwaters. Remember, turn around, don't drown. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy.
Welcome back to Daybreak. It's 7:55 and it's time for your morning rush. Here's everything you need to know as you start your day. Beaumont police are trying to figure out what led to a shooting in the Avenues last night. It happened around 8:45 near Avenue H in Blanchett. Beaumont Fire and Rescue says a man was rushed to the hospital with serious injuries. He's in stable condition this morning. We'll keep you updated. Kimberly Langwell's accused killer has rejected a plea deal. Terry Rose decided yesterday he'd rather take his chances at trial. Investigators say Rose killed Langwell and buried her under his property in 1999. Her remains were discovered in June of last year after police received a tip. The plea deal was for 40 years in prison. Rose now faces 5 to life. Game rooms are now officially banned in Beaumont. City council members voted to pass the ordinance yesterday. All affected businesses will have to cease operations within 90 days or face possible charges or fines. An attorney who represents several store owners say he's considering legal options and strategies. The ban will go into effect in 90 days.
I want to show you a last look here at radar, and you can see some pretty heavy rain over Sabine Lake around Port Arthur, heading down towards Sabine Pass. We had some more showers over towards looks like High Island. Those are kind of dying down, and that stuff over Port Arthur, not quite to Bridge City yet. That's all sliding off towards the north and east, so should be working its way over towards Cameron Parish. So you folks in orange, I don't know if you're going to catch any of this rain that's coming up through Sabine Lake right now. Definitely not going to see anything here in Beaumont, at least this morning, but we might see some activity for later on this afternoon. Our forecast today calling for about a 20, maybe 30% coverage of a few showers or thunderstorms, not only today, but through the next 7 days. And temperatures stay pretty steady, middle 70s in the mornings and lower to middle 90s in the afternoons.
Just be on the lookout for that rain, but it shouldn't be much of a bother.
I don't think so this morning. Most of it's sliding into Cameron Parish. Tomorrow, this afternoon, look for maybe a couple more showers.
All right, thanks for watching.
Have a great day.